Did you know that some of the world's greatest minds started their journey by embracing their own ignorance? The path to mastery often begins with accepting that we know very little. Consider this. In Japanese martial arts, students begin as shoshin, embracing the beginner's mindset, which allows them to absorb knowledge like a sponge. The term shoshin means having an attitude of openness, eagerness, and a lack of preconceptions, mirroring the state of mind of a beginner. It's this willingness to be seen as a fool that often leads to profound wisdom and expertise. In our society, admitting ignorance is often avoided, yet it's this very humility that becomes the gateway to true mastery. So next time you're faced with a challenge or starting something new, ask yourself, are you willing to be a fool today to be a master tomorrow? What opportunities are you missing by not embracing your ignorance? Comment below your thoughts on this path to enlightenment. Did you know that some of the world's greatest minds started their journey by embracing their...
Well, that was profound. Am I willing to be a fool? Definitely in the new year, because I believe that when we start something new, we are somewhat of a fool because we don't know much. And if we are willing to become a fool, then we can become a master if we continue practicing and um, refining our craft. And with that, I would like to wish everyone a very happy new year. And I wanted to ask you, what if I were to tell you this video that we just watched was fully AI generated? And that's what we're going to be talking about today. And I'd like you, if you like to, grab your cup of coffee or tea, and let's talk about it. So, from idea to reality, and how generative AI is democratizing innovation. Now, what is an idea? If you ask me, I would say idea is a bundle of thoughts pointed towards a specific direction or goal. But that's pretty much it. If you write down the idea, it's still an idea. It becomes a system or a product when you implement it or put it in practice. However, that is something that becomes a task or a chore, or it can become overwhelming if you have an idea and then you want to materialize it, because that takes a lot of resources, it takes a lot of time and effort. Now imagine yourself in a situation where you're working on something and you have an idea of how you can do something better, how you can improve it, how you can make it more efficient. And in your mind, it's $1 million idea. And if you think you can actually turn it into a product or a system, sometimes it's easy depending on the complexity of the idea or the complexity of the problem you're solving. However, a lot of times you will find yourself in a position where you may need a lot of resources, or if you wish to do it yourself, you will have to spend a lot of time and effort learning, say, for example, learning new programming languages or learning about databases, learning about design, learning about so many things. You put in all that effort into that, and by the time you are done learning a new programming language to build that, then by that time someone else has built that idea and it's in the market already. So when I met my wife, who happens to be Scottish, I had this idea of printing this meme on this mug and gifting it to her. And because there was a print on demand service out there, I quickly got the meme printed on this and gifted it to her, and that worked, and she liked it very much. We are married now and have a little kid, so I'm not saying that's because of this mug, but it didn't hurt, definitely. What if you are in a situation where you have this idea? What if I do this? What if I turn this into an automated process? However, the gap that is usually seen between the what ifs and how can be bridged. And that's where generative AI comes into the picture. I see it as a bridge builder, not just a bridge, but a bridge builder, because it can bridge the gap between what ifs and why nots. Having what ifs is good, but having the confidence to turn it into why not is even better, because now you can have ideas that can turn into proof of concepts really quickly, and you can scrap it if you don't like it without spending much effort and resources into it. So, proof of concept in a click. I know it sounds too good to be true, and in some cases it is. However, since it's a proof of concept, in a lot of times you can get a lot of things built which with a lot less effort and time as compared to what you would have been doing had Gen AI was not there. If we think of how we came from painting to photography to digital photography, back in the day, if you were to paint a scenery, you would take a lot. First of all, you would have to learn the skills, and then you would have to take a lot of time to absorb and then paint the paint on the canvas. And then you would have, after a long time, you would have one canvas. Um, then came the for analog photography, in which you had the negatives, and even that had some level of cost associated to it, because you could only take a few pictures, and then you would run out of the negative roll. And then came digital photography, where you could take multiple pictures easily, and then you can delete them if you didn't like them, and that helped us become better photographers. Well, everyone has a camera in their phones these days, and I believe we are a lot better in taking photographs as we were, or our previous predecessors were, when they did not have access to cameras. So, talking about the solution that I just, well, talking about the solution that I used, or a system that I used to create that video. I built that system, I coded that system with the help of AI, with the help of a tool called Cursor AI, which is a coding software, for lack of better word. It's an IDE, which has integrated AI into it, and it's like you can chat with it, and it can write code for you. However, this is not a demo for that tool. Coming under the hood here, what have we here? So the solution that I built works is, it has a Next.js front end, which looks like this, and I'll come back to it in a moment. And it has a fast API backend. So I'll just let you have a look at the front end. This is the landing page. And these are all the videos that it created. As you can see, there are some Christmas videos that were uploaded. These are YouTube shorts. So these were uploaded on YouTube by the system, by this web app. Um, and this is how it looks for each video. So coming back to this, to the flow. So as you can see, there's a front end which we are using. And why did I decide to go with Next.js? Was I an expert in Next.js or Fast API? Absolutely not. I basically just gave myself a 1 hour refresher session on Next.js and Fast API to understand what state management is, what routing is, and those kind of things. And I think that's the real power of Gen AI, that you don't have to spend months and months to learn a programming language just to be able to build a hello world app at the end. You can give yourself a refresher session with some basic knowledge of coding logic, and you can just get cracking on with these AI tools, and that can help you build these apps. So from there, we start the whole process, and the first step is the topic or title generation. And what happens here is that there are three parts. First is the user input. So I can go here, I can go at the homepage, I can click a new project, and I can give the title or a topic here. And if I don't want to do that, if I am feeling super lazy, which is surprising because I've literally built a solution that just demands a title or topic from me. But let's say I'm super lazy. What it can do is this little bot, AI agent, Mr. Agent or Miss Agent, will use OpenAI's API to apply the AI intelligence, GenAI intelligence, and it will analyze the past 10 videos that the system has produced. And it will, based on the pattern, based on the trajectory, it will come up with something new. It will also check if there are duplicates. So it will follow the same pattern. However, there won't be any duplicates. In case there are no 10 videos and I'm still feeling lazy, there's an initial set of requirements that have been fed into it. So it knows what kind of YouTube channel it's working for, what is the niche it's working in, what is the tone and all that, and what kind of topics we are interested in. So it can even start creating videos from scratch, even if there is nothing else created before that. So then comes the content generation piece. As you can see, we have a little an army of AI agents here. What are they doing? So the first one is creating the script. And as you can see, these OpenAI logos here, we are using the OpenAI's GPT-4o model here, LLM, and it creates the script. Now, the the real magic is in the prompts that I have provided, which took a bit of hit and trial to finalize or to get to a sweet spot of the kind of tone, the kind of messaging, the kind of philosophical context it was using, the length of the script, and all of that. So once I was happy with that, I finalized that prompt, and that is the prompt we are using. From there, it also generates the social media metadata, mainly for YouTube, like the SEO optimized title, description, call to action, hashtags, keywords. And this is the fun part, it breaks the script down into chunks. And why does it do that? There's a little bot, again, AI agent doing that because it's very smart and it understands that we need to have images to go along with the videos as part of our storytelling process. So it analyzes the script, it decides which chunk should be, it decides what should be the number of chunks that a story should be divided into. And for then the next agent, for each chunk, it writes the image generation prompt. So it's working with a meta prompt that will analyze the script, the whole script. It will analyze the chunk it's working on. And based on the mood, based on the emotion, based on the context, it will think of an image that will go along with that chunk. And once it does that, then it wears its prompt writer hat and it comes up with a prompt, image generation prompt for that. That image prompt is passed on to Leonardo AI, which is an image generation, AI based image generation service that I really like. And we're using their API for this. So it passes on those prompts to the Leonardo AI. In the meanwhile, we have the script, and that script is passed on to a service called 11 Labs. Now, 11 Labs is an AI based voiceover generation service. They have tons of voices that you can choose from, or you can clone your own voice as well, or you can create a fresh voice, which I did for this project. I created a fresh voice with a prompt, and I'm using that voice for this channel. And then comes another little bot here, AI agent here, which takes that voiceover that is generated and passes it on to the OpenAI's Whisper API. Now, Whisper API is basically voice to text. So we're going reverse here. We're taking the voice and then we're turning it into text. However, why we're doing that is to understand or capture the timing of each word being spoken in that generated voiceover. Once that is done, it's all passed on to MoviePy, which is a Python library movie generation or video generation engine. Um, and what it does over here is it takes all the images that were generated by Leonardo AI and uses the timing that was also generated during the chunks. So the timing of the voiceover plus the timing of the script chunk and the image associated to it is all weaved in beautifully to make a coherent video. So the image, one image will stay only for the duration of the spoken narrated script where it's relevant, and then the next image will come on the screen or pop on the screen. At the same time, we have the subtitle and voiceover timing also going on. So um, each word appears when each word is spoken. So that needs to be timed perfectly. So that's going on. I don't know if you noticed in the screen sharing, there's a subtle particle amber effects, flying particles on the screen for to add more warmth based on the messages because it's a uplifting. It's supposed to be an uplifting, motivational, philosophical channel. So the system is also adding on the go particles, little particles that are flying on the screen to add a little more warmth to the video. And there's a slow zoom in effect going on in the video. There's also a background track which is not chosen by AI, which is something I picked for this project. And but what it does is that it makes sure the length of the background track, the little music, the subtle music that's going on in the back, is the same as the voiceover. So we don't have a video where the voice, where the narration stops and the background music keeps going on. So all that is being weaved into a video here. And then comes the next step where it uploads to social media. The first thing it does is it uploads the video that it just generated to YouTube. And of course, using the YouTube API would have been the easier path. But of course, I wanted to have this challenge and push my creativity as well as the tool, AI tool I was working with to write the code um, to its limit. So I built a bespoke Chrome extension to perform web automation and upload the YouTube video on YouTube. Now, that came with its own challenges, but it was a good learning experience. For example, I didn't know that you had to pass on a video as base 64 encoded format to the browser if you wanted to upload it. So there you go. Now I know it. Then comes TikTok. The video is also being uploaded to TikTok, and we are using Selenium for that. Selenium is also web automation. I could have used the Chrome extension. I could have expanded the Chrome extension to do that, but I decided not to do that, just to experiment with Selenium this time. And for Instagram, using a Python library, which is an unofficial API, and which is also, I think, under the hood using a headless browser or Selenium to do this. Now, you may ask, what happens if the script of the app crashes anywhere here, say anywhere basically, if it crashes or if it receives any API error because of it, which it has to stop. Now, along the whole process, the whole app is managing the progress state and persistence. So it keeps saving the state at every point, and if it fails in the next run, it can pick it up from where it started. Um, and to build all of this, to build the whole code base, I used Cursor AI, which under the hood uses Claude, Anthropic's Claude 3.5 Sonnet. It uses other LLMs as well, but I used Claude 3.5 Sonnet to write the code, and it was quite an experience because a lot of times it would not give the output that I was looking for. So I had to do some research on bug fixes and troubleshooting myself, and then I had to basically talk to the LLM saying that, okay, this is how we can fix that bug, and it did that. So um, coming back to the front end, and I'll just show you again because the script chunking is something that took me a lot of time to refine. So, for example, this is the whole script, and it turned it into little chunks. This is the story chunk. This is a story chunk. This is a story chunk. And then for each story chunk, it also came with an image prompt. So this is the image prompt. Let me zoom in. And this is the image that it created with that prompt, and it saved it. Now, of course, there are many ways. This is not a perfect system. It has its limitations, but it is nevertheless something that I built in my spare time when my little one went to bed in the evenings. So this is something I probably would have needed a lot of time and even resources in the past to build. However, all I had was idea, and the idea started branching out into sub ideas on how I can improve this. And we have this app right now. So now that we've seen under the hood, the possibilities here are endless. I can have an AI orchestrator agent on top of it, um, feed it the YouTube analytics data, and let it decide what should be the next video, what should be the tone and content, and all sorts. I can have a long form video to key highlight, so I can build an AI agent on top again, which can look for trending videos, podcasts, turn it into smaller, easy to digest short form video, and then feed that script into this whole system, into this whole flow. I can do interactive storytelling. I can build in interactive storytelling if um, I can open it up to the user to click if to click some options, and then based on their options, the story can take that direction. I can have implement a commercial product placement along the story or in between the story or somewhere. I can have we can have personalized educational content. So having a survey um, and asking the users some question to understand their personality better, and then creating content tailored specifically to each user. It can be integrated with a mental health app, which can generate personalized, uplifting content based on the person with a little survey to understand the person better. And I can also integrate image to video models to turn these images into moving videos, basically as short video clips. Here are some useful tools that I didn't use all of these, but I would like to share it with everyone. These are some tools that some I've used extensively, some I'm just familiar with, some are just good to know about. But see if you find these useful. I'll share this list in the comments or in the description, depending on where you're watching this video, either on LinkedIn or YouTube. And now what? Well, be creative because you're only limited by your imagination now. Don't be afraid to be a fool. It's okay if you make mistakes. Don't be afraid of that. The cost of making mistakes is very minimal now. You can build and you can iterate, you can refine, you can scrap, then you can build something new very easily now. And if you still feel stuck or if you would like to connect, then please feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. If you're watching this on LinkedIn, then just connect with me. Or if you're watching this on YouTube, then I'll share the link in the description or in the comments to my LinkedIn profile. So please feel free to connect. And I hope you have a wonderful 2025. I hope you innovate, you create, and you solve new problems. Take care. Thank you.